In a movie where wizards teachers try and rig sporting events, which is real weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but it's 2001's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Woo!
Stan, Steve, Dicko, Jim, Jack, Kirby, Greg, Moore, Gaming, Mark, Miller, Frank, Miller, Warren, Ellis, Jack, John, James, Don, Rich, Donner, John, Baffert, Sam, Raymond, Pat, Jacob, Zach, Vaughn. It's not always perfect, but it's always worth it. The comic book picture show.
It's not always perfect, but it's always worth it. The comic book picture show.
It's the comic book picture show.
What's up, Patrick?
What up, what up?
And what's up, Jen?
Hi.
Yeah, so Patrick, explain this.
Explain what? The whole concept?
Yeah, why is she around?
Oh, I thought you were telling me to explain to her, even though she already knows.
Yeah, no, we're in it now.
We're in
Somebody
it.
can go back and listen to another episode if they need an explanation of what the show is.
Yeah.
But I guess we let your fiance on this one
Yeah.
Yep. I'm here.
because she's a big Harry Potter dork. So, how do you feel about the podcast, Jen?
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Good answer. We'll stick with
Yes,
that.
We'll stick with that.
But yeah, I didn't even introduce myself.
Yeah. That's pretty important.
Yeah, right? I am NXT UK sensation Mark Andrews. I didn't even use the right first name this time. I just went with the last name.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm Mark Andrews. At Drew Dorrance NY. Or at Drew Dorrance NY. Jesus.
You can't flip.
I can't flip it off. I could write a better pop punk song, though.
Zing.
Alright, let's get into the procedurals of this film that I will be calling, for the most part, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, as it was originally known when it was released. They
True.
changed it to Sorcerer for Americans, because we're dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Everybody's like, philosophy? No, I'm not getting into that.
it's like something thought-provoking? No,
No.
it doesn't sound enough like a warlock. This part, usually you know how I have to do like the release date and the studio and the box office and all that. I didn't need to look this up. This came out when I was 10 years old. I was locked in and ready for this when this came out. I had finished the book the year before. I was probably in the middle of the third book by the time this one came out.
I would say I was right at the same spot.
So I was like, this was like the first movie I feel like I watched the box office numbers and I watched like the trailers as they came out, was like looking for news on it as it was coming out. Like this movie might have been like one of the first times I had real geekdom towards movies in general.
Yeah, I didn't know about the movie until the commercial came across the TV.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I think because my mom had an Entertainment Weekly subscription
Probably.
that I knew about it way ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I think they put Daniel Radcliffe on the cover like 6 months before the movie came out to be like, who's ready for Harry Potter or something, you know what I mean? Trying to hype everybody up, and like, he looks so much like Harry. Like, the illustrations you see from the book covers and everything and how you imagine him in your head, you're like, okay, this should work.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember the first time seeing it being like, oh my god, he looks exactly like Harry Potter.
Definitely. It was released on November 16th, 2001 by Warner Brothers Pictures. It was directed by Chris Columbus, who's best known for the first two Home Alone movies. He's
Nice.
done some other stuff, but I don't really like it.
No.
No. Like 9 months.
Ah.
And like, what? I don't care. Who cares? And it was written by Steve Klove, who did pretty much all of them except Order of the Phoenix, weirdly.
Really? That is a weird one. Just like
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah, you're just like, the first one with Voldemort in it, like fully? Nah, I'm fine. I'm alright. I'll go do The Amazing Spider-Man instead.
Ah.
Yeah, although I think Amazing Spider-Man was way later.
Oh really?
I think, wasn't that around the time the last Harry Potter movie was coming out?
I can't remember, because for that one, I think I waited until it came out on DVD to see it.
Okay. So, yeah, something around that. But, You guys want to take a guess at the domestic box office number for this movie?
Good God. I'm going to let you take this one. Cause...
Yeah, and I know that at the time this movie came out, it was in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time.
I'm gonna go with 50 million. Am I probably way off?
Way off, yeah. Like, you want, like, hundreds of numbers.
We're gonna try.
I'll tell you that the highest grossing movie of all time is Star Wars Force Awakens with, like, 950 million.
Oh, shit.
And, like, this movie is probably now sitting somewhere around, like, the 40th highest grossing movie of all time.
So I'll do 550,500.
What?
You mean 550 million?
Yeah.
You would only be off by 45 million for adjusted numbers.
Okay.
But you're still just a little too high for the actual domestic gross. But let's see if you can hit the domestic gross number.
350 million.
317.
Okay.
Which I thought the number was 316 before, but I was off by a mil. And it made another 657 million outside of the U.S. So this movie topped out at about 970 something, I believe, which is just insane. It was the number one grossing movie worldwide of 2001.
Wow. Not surprised.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was a massive success. Oh, and you guys want to guess how much J.K. Rowling sold the rights for the first 4 movies to Warner Brothers for?
It had to be a lot. I have no idea.
Did it?
Something.
It was
No,
only
but
It was only 1999. Only the 3rd book was out by then. The buzz was starting to get going. You started to have the Catholics hating her.
I don't know. I remember the first couple ones going to book fairs, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as far as book sales go and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was they were massive successes. I can even tell you that this movie sold 10 million copies on home video in its first, 6 months. Which is insane. It sold to Warner Brothers for $1 million.
What?
That's it?
For the first 4 movies.
What?
That was her payout for the based on rights.
But she probably backed up the dump truck for the rest of them,
Oh
right?
yeah, and she still gets dumb amount of residuals.
For sure.
And she still had a little bit of creative sway that way.
Yeah.
Because she probably could have got, 5 or 10, but then would have had to be completely hands off. With that 1 million, she did have demands like it had to be an all British cast, and she leaned up only to let a couple Irish people get hired. You know what I mean? So Seamus is Irish, Richard Harris, who is Dumbledore, is Irish, but that's basically it. Everybody else is Stone Cold Brit.
Yep.
And its budget, which at the time is astronomical, is $125 million.
Wow.
It looks like a $125 million movie.
Yeah.
They did a lot of the filming of the school scenes in actual cathedrals and schools around London, but they did build a couple of the sets. I think one was the Gryffindor Common Room, and the other one was the Great Hall. And I wish I remember the type of stone they said they used for building it, but he was he put so much of his budget for his art design or set designs into that stone, which worked out to be really, really smart because that shit lasted the next 7 movies after this.
Yep.
It had to have hundreds of kids and full film crews on it all day long.
That's
This
amazing.
is crazy.
Yeah. And now, guys, it is time for Is It Rotten? So, Jennifer, you've never played the Rotten game before,
Nope.
so I will explain it to you. Is It Rotten basically means I look up the Rotten Tomato score, and you have to get if it gets a rotten rating or a fresh rating. Now, usually a fresh rating is something about 70% or above, And that doesn't mean critics have to love the movie. They just have to like the movie in order for it to be a positive review. So, do you think this movie is rotten or fresh?
Because it's more new, I'm going to say it was probably rotten.
No way it's rotten.
No?
No.
So you're going to stick with a
I'm
green?
sticking with rotten.
Unfortunately, Jennifer, it had 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Whoa.
Yeah, people loved it. It was just because they just thought of it as a children's film. I don't really think they thought of it as like an Oscar Best Picture contender.
Right.
True.
You know what I mean? So I did write down some of the reviews here. And the first one I have is from Jamie Bernard of the Hollywood New York Daily News, who said Harry Potter's first venture onto the screen is an absolute blockbuster. Can't argue that one. Simple, to the point. Thanks for the bullshit excerpt, Rotten Tomatoes. The next one I have is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is, despite its trickery, the plainest and least surprising of artifacts. The work of art is exactly the sum of its parts, neither more nor less. Written by Anthony Lane of The New Yorker.
Wow.
You just used like 20 words to describe something you could have said in 4 words. Where you're just like, it's aight, but it's kind of tacky. Like, that's all he was
He
big.
wanted to sound smart.
Yeah, he really, really wanted to.
So use a lot of big words and you sound smart.
I don't know, Anthony. I think you're kind of a twat. Just making big judgment calls on people I've never known. The last one is from Jonathan Rosenbaum of the Chicago Reader, who said, I hear the J.K. Rowling books are great, and on the basis of this 2001 movie, I'm ready to believe it.
Cool.
Yeah, so he saw the lure of the movie and like how much foundation was built into it. And he was like, maybe the books are good. Now it is time for Pat's favorite segment, Wearing It! The first thing I've written down to talk about, because there's so many things for Wearing It we have to talk about. This is the segment, Jen, where we talk about everybody's wardrobe in the movie and how it feels or how am I trying to word this? We do the compare and contrast from its source material. So like in comics, how their stuff would look there versus how they look in the movie. Obviously here we get long, detailed descriptions from J.K. Rowling about how they should look in the books. And we get to see it imagined here on screen. So you can do the compare and contrast to that, or just say how ugly or awesome you think somebody looks in general.
Okay.
The first one we have is the Sorting Hat.
The Sorting Hat is exactly how you would imagine it, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I love the
Definitely,
Sorting Hat.
Definitely.
I don't know why nobody's ever just tried to like show up to a celebrity at a Halloween party, just show up looking like good, just normal good, with just a sorting hat on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It seems like a lazy, easy costume to me.
You can't do it lazy. You have to go all out if you're doing a
Yeah.
sorting hat.
I'm getting robes and just
You
going
Right.
Hogwarts.
That would just be disrespectful if you tried to be lazy.
I mean, there's girls that just wear bunny ears and lingerie and mean girls and call that
Listen,
a
that's a
costume.
costume. You don't know the effort. The effort we have to put in to make that look cute.
Jennifer, I love having you here right now. Let's talk about Hermione's overall look. Because she seems like the one of the big three that feels the most different from book her to
Yeah.
movie her.
Like, she doesn't have the big teeth.
Right. Which
They try
apparently-
to do the hair the best they can,
Yeah.
I think.
They did try the teeth, but she couldn't really talk with them in. And they were like, fuck it, we're not going to torture this 11-year-old. Like, she's just going to not have buck teeth.
Yeah.
So that was apparently a thing. And somebody else had a weird thing that they were trying to make them do. And we were like, it's just not working. We can't. Oh, they were trying to make Daniel Radcliffe wear green contacts.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Like, he was allergic, I think, right?
Yeah, or he was having a real bad reaction to them. And, like, so they were like, we're not having none of this no more.
They could have photoshopped those, though, throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, like, CGI'd it, whatever. But, like, I mean...
Could they have? Do you remember that troll?
Yo, I have so many thoughts about the trolls.
We'll
scene.
get to it.
I know. That's usually my line. But yeah, I think having Hermione just look like Emma Watson is fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. You know, it's basically just the teeth, right?
Yeah. And, like, aren't her ears a little more
Yeah.
outward in the book? But, like,
Right.
like, she has big frizzy hair. I don't really need to notice her ears.
And
that
that's really what people remember the most is the hair.
Yeah. And it's just like, how much time do you really want to have an 11-year-old spending hair and makeup every day,
And
kids?
this is still in the good aspects of it, because they just flat out abandon it in a couple of the movies.
Oh, yeah. By the time we're to, like, book 5, movie 5, it's just like Emma Watson is a bona fide babe. Like, we're gonna, like, not even be concerned about having her look slightly nerdy or anything. Like, she's just gonna be her gorgeous self. And then that's that. You know what I mean? Who else? What else have I written down here? Oh, the school uniforms.
Yeah.
I would hate wearing them, but they are perfection.
Right. They're exactly as you would imagine them.
Totally. I always did want... Thankfully, I took the Pottermore test, and I'm a Ravenclaw.
Oh, me too.
Listen, Hufflepuff's still the best house. I accept you guys.
You guys
but
are like the Cleveland Browns of Hogwarts houses.
They're the horse team?
Yes.
I like that team.
No,
They're
Oh
orange
my
and
God.
something. I like the horse.
Jen, I love you.
I love you too.
But yeah, so I would have wanted to wear that because the black and blue striped ties would have just worked best for me. Like, I would have hated having to wear the red and yellow because I'm like, I'm not a bright colors person.
But it's more
Like-
like a darker red.
It's still red.
True.
And I just don't look good in red. And
I understand.
bright colors are not my jam.
It depends on the color and the specific shade of the
Yeah.
brightness. I look pretty fantastic in Hufflepuff
Aren't
colors.
one of the houses, like, I think it's Ravenclaw, isn't the colors mildly different in the book too?
I think so. I thought it was like red or blue and gold, but they make
Yeah.
it like blue and black in the movie, and they just go
blue and silver. I think they make it in the movie, and I think
Either way.
I think you were right. It's like blue and yellow, or like some sort of gold
Yeah.
or something.
I might be crazy, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I think there's something like that.
Because I
One of
know
them's a little
Gryffindor,
different.
Hufflepuff, and Slytherin are perfect. Like, I do remember it being silver and green, yellow and black, and being like, that's kind of boring. And yeah, I meant it. What are you going to say about it?
It's the perfect color, and you know what? I'm gonna buy you a shirt, and it's gonna say Hufflepuff are the best.
Okay, and
And
I'll
you're
just,
gonna you
I'll
have
just
to
never
wear it.
wear it.
You
I'll
have
just
to wear it when we go out for my birthday.
No.
Oh yeah.
You're lucky I'm going to come with clothes on, period.
Please. If you're going out without clothes, I mean, I'm gonna take you out, but I'm getting all the free drinks.
I appreciate that you let me express myself. But yeah, the school uniforms, awesome. What else I have written down here? Hagrid.
Hagrid is perfect, dude.
I
Yeah.
saw him without being Hagrid once.
Yeah,
Robbie Coltrane just in
I
the
don't
wild.
like it.
in the wild.
I don't like it. I don't like Robbie being normal.
No.
Oh man,
That is
you
ridiculous.
heard they almost cast Robin Williams to be Hagrid at one point.
Yes, there was interest in him, and I don't remember why the fallout happened. I think it was when like Steven Spielberg was still connected to do the movie, but he turned it down in favor of doing AI. And the way he wanted to do the movie was as a animation film with Haley Joel Osment voicing Harry.
Really?
Yeah, because he was just determined to work with Haley Joel Osment after Sixth Sense. Because he just went and did AI with Haley Joel Osment instead. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I just want to work with Sixth Sense kid. I want to be the guy who makes his next big movie, basically. But JK was like, absolutely not. He's not making an American Harry Potter. Which makes sense. It's a British story.
For sure.
What else did I have written here? Oh, the Bank Trolls. So, I don't remember their names. Do you remember the Bank Trolls' names? Or Goblins. I'm sorry, Goblins.
Yes.
Goblins. Trolls are later.
Grip Hook.
Oh, is that the like head banker dude?
Teller.
That's he's the one who comes back in the 7th
Okay.
one. That's the only name that I recall.
Well, he was played by Warwick Davis, who's a very famous little person actor. Was Leprechaun, was a bunch of huge things.
And yeah, no, that is definitely the same character, because remember, he's the person who brought the whole thing is how they're connected in the 7th one, is he was the first person to bring him to his vault the first time he went.
Actually, the person that brought him to his vault was Vern Troyer's character that was voiced by Warwick Davis.
Oh.
Yeah. But I wanted to bring up the fact that Mini-Me and the Leprechaun were the ones that played the bank goblins.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. And I just find
When they walked through, probably, and then there's one that they'd also talk to get into the vault, and he asks him if he has his key and all of that.
Yeah, the key please one. That's
Yep.
who I'm talking about, is Vern Troyer. And like when you look at him hard enough, you can see it, but as a kid I was like, no idea.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Right? And it also shows how good Warwick Davis is, that A, he was able to pull off doing both voices, and that both of them were able to do, like, I mean, they had a ton of makeup on, but they did a great job disappearing into the characters too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like Vern Troyer does have a very distinct walk, and he was able to like calm it down a little in the movie, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Right. They really pulled it off for what they had to work with, you know what I mean? They made
Totally.
it look
The
real
makeup
cool.
department did an amazing job in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
The walk, though, I just thought because goblins are tiny, I thought they're gonna walk like that.
Right, that's just what something at that height would walk like.
Yep.
Which totally makes sense too. Which is why like playing to his height, but not playing to it like how you do it in Austin Powers, where it's kind of like that crude, rude comedy, man. Yeah, like that actually helps in a way to let him disappear into a character.
It's pretty cool.
What else do we have to talk about? Oh, I wanted to mention how Professor Snape looks 10 years older in this movie than he does in Love Actually. And Love Actually came out 2 years after this movie. That's just how
Really?
dreadful they make him look in this movie.
Well,
I think
mean,
purposely.
it's Snape. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You're supposed to hate him.
Yeah, like he looks like he has more jowl under his chin, and his hair is very frazzled in a perfect kind of way, and he's very pale. It kind of brings out his wrinkles a little more. So it's just like in like Love Actually, I can buy he's 50. In this movie, I can buy he's like 60. Even though
yeah.
he's not supposed to be 60, because he's supposed to be the same age as Harry's parents, we know later on.
Right. And isn't it weird how he was so good in the movies that even though there is that bit of an age difference, that he is like Snape? It's like one of those things with people talking right now, somebody else playing Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman, like who can play Snape other than Alan Rickman when it does come out? Because like
Right.
he's just Snape, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's enough of wearing it. Do you guys want to move on to some Wikipedia and IMDb facts I copy and pasted?
Definitely.
We gotta do our last segment. I'm so sorry. One of the more important segments.
One more thing I just have to mention.
Yeah.
Albus Dumbledore. We did wear it, we didn't mention him.
Oh
one
my
time.
God, wearing it. All right, so Dumbledore.
Yeah, because that's like the biggest thing, because they nailed him with the vibrant colors and the very flamboyant robes that he would wear.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it.
Honestly, if I could be slightly critical, slightly.
What's that?
He could have been a little more loud. I wouldn't mind.
I mean, it was real flashy. Think back.
Yeah, I mean,
And they
comparatively to
describe it-
everybody else sitting around him.
And remember the first one, they described it like galaxy, like, right? A lot of the time, what he would wear.
Yeah, a lot of like midnight blue or something. You know what I mean?
Very cool stuff, though.
Yeah, I like him. And,
Especially the glasses, the first Dumbledore.
and that's the
Dumbledore.
thing about like going back and watching this movie now compared to like when I was a little kid. Like when I'm a little kid, I don't know who the fuck Alan Rickman is. I don't know who the fuck Richard Harris is.
Yo.
Like, but now I know most of these actors now from other things. So it's just very interesting to be like, that's Richard Harris under all that beard. So I'm watching it with like a different lens now. And it's just like, he's doing a really good job making me not think about the fact that he's Richard Gere. Or Richard Harris. Now I might throw myself out though. Oh yeah.
That's a really funny image of him.
And just McGonagall as Julia Roberts.
Oh my god, stop. Oh, that would have been so...
McGonagall is badass in this movie.
Dude, McGonagall is the shit.
Okay, so, first thing I've written down here is... In 1997, producer David Heyman searched for a children's book that could be adapted into a well-received movie. He had planned to produce Diane Wynne Jones's novel The Ogre Downstairs, but his plans fell through. His staff at Heyday Films then suggested Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which his assistant believed was a cool idea. Heyman pitched the idea to Warner Brothers, and in 1999, Rowling sold the company the rights to the first 4 Harry Potter books for a reported £1 million. Wow. Which would have been $1,982,000 today, or at the time, in US dollars, which is just like, I never get why currency is different. I just
makes shopping really hard.
A demand Rowling made was that the principal cast kept strictly British. Nonetheless, after the inclusion of Irish actors such as Richard Harris as Dumbledore and the casting of French and Eastern European actors in Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire, where the characters from the book were specified as such, Rowling was hesitant to sell the rights because she didn't want to give them control over the rest of the story. By selling the rights to the characters would been enabled Warner Brothers to make non-author written sequels. So she was really smart about it and was just like, no, you just get the story to the first 4 books. That's it.
Smart.
Although Steven Spielberg initially negotiated to direct the film, he declined the offer. Spielberg reportedly wanted the adaptation to be an animated... I talked about most of this already. Spielberg contended that, in his opinion, it was like shooting ducks into a barrel. It's just a slam dunk. It's just like withdrawing $1 billion and getting into your personal bank accounts. There's no challenge. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he was like, no thanks, I'm going to go do AI instead because they don't want to do it animated. So, after Spielberg left, talks began with other directors including Chris Columbus, our guy who eventually got it, Taron Gilliam, who is very famous for his work with the Mighty Python. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
It's a comedy series.
I thought that was the one with the giant snake in Africa.
I don't know about Giant Snake in Africa, but there's a bunch of movies and there's a series, and it's a comedy troupe from Britain in like the 1970s.
Are you talking about Anaconda?
There's both snakes. Both things that I know nothing in my life.
Moving on. Jonathan Demme, Mike Newell, Alan Parker, Wolfgang Peterson, Rob Reiner, Ivan Reitman, which would have been so interesting, Tim Robbins, and Brad Silberling. Oh, and 2 more. Peter Weir, and a 1 M. Night Shyamalan.
Ugh.
Yeah. Can you imagine him trying to make Harry have an external crisis?
I was
like
just
the whole fucking movie?
Where does he fit a twist into it?
He would have like made Quar like get uglier throughout the film and shit. Like it would have been weird. Although I would love to see Ivan Reitman do it. He was the guy that directed Ghostbusters, I believe. That would have been real weird. Blah 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 blah. Peterson and Reiner both pulled out of the running in March 2000. And the choice was narrowed down to Silberling, Columbus, Parker, and Gilliam. Rowling's first choice was Terry Gilliam, obviously because she was just a Monty Python fan, I would think. But Warner Brothers chose Columbus, citing his work on other family films such as Home Alone and Mrs. Doubtfire as influences on their decision. Columbus pitched his vision of the film for 2 hours, stating, that he wanted the Muggle scenes to be bleak and dreary, but the inspiration from David Lean's adaptation of Great Expectations and Oliver Twist, wishing to use the Sword of Darkness and the Sword of Edge, that quality to the cinematography, which would bring further inspired by the color designs of Oliver and The Godfather. Which, reading that, and then I think about some of those scenes in the movie are really dark, like not well lit in a weird way, where I'm just like, this makes the movie feel older in a weird way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it feels like early 90s. Which I guess is good because it's set in 1991. But, like, it also doesn't have to look like a VHS copy. You know what I mean? Differences from the books. Columbus repeatedly checked with Raleigh to make sure that he was getting minor details correct. Cloves described the film as really faithful to the book. He added dialogue of which Raleigh approved. One of the lines originally included had to be removed after Raleigh told him that it would directly contradict an event that was in the then unreleased fifth Harry Potter novel, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
So I would love to know what that line was, where it was just like Dumbledore was like, I didn't really know your parents all that well, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, dog, you were in the Order. But I don't know. It's very strange. I have a bunch of other notes here, but I'm like skipping a couple because it's like not all that important.
No Peeves is my biggest beef, but they tried, so I respect it. It was
Oh
just
yeah,
hard with
there's
CGI.
something written over here about Peeves. Hold on.
I feel like he was a kind of important character in the book, at least.
Yeah, he was around a lot for sure.
And Ron's brother, his oldest brother.
Percy, they don't show him a lot.
No, Percy's in like 2 movies.
And they
Or
don't
2
really
scenes.
acknowledge he's his brother either, besides he has the red hair.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
The older?
Yeah. Because they're all at the train station together in the first scene.
I don't remember seeing Percy in the first one.
Yeah, he's the first one to go through platform 9 3/4.
Here, are you talking about Bill? Because
No, I remember
he was
Bill.
older, and that's later.
Yeah,
in the
and
series.
Charlie's
And
another one, yeah.
Oh, they don't show the one brother. Yeah, they did cut the one brother out of the movie who meets up to get the dragon.
Yeah, they do cut Charlie, which is kind of whack. But either way, we get Charlie later on, right?
Yeah.
Or do we never meet Charlie in the movies?
No, we
We
get
get
Bill.
Or-
We get Bill.
Oh, yeah.
But no Charlie?
No, Charlie. In the books, I remember he comes to the wedding in the last one.
Yeah.
But they only had Bill at the wedding. They didn't have Charlie come.
That's weird.
Well, I guess they never had a need to use him before that because he really wasn't a part of any of the other plots. So then why
Yeah.
just bring in another Weasley that has never been shown for the last movie?
Because it's
I guess.
only paying another redhead like $20,000 to do a scene. You got it.
Only 20,000.
I mean, you don't know some of these people's salaries, girl. Like, it's ridiculous. One thing I had written here was platform 9 3/4 was filmed at King's Cross, but the platforms are on platforms 4 and 5. J.K. Rowling admitted that she mixed up the layout of London's King's Cross railway station when she assigned the Hogwarts Express to be platform 9 3/4, reached by using magic between... we know. She meant the location to be more inner city part of the station, but 9 and 10 are actually among the rather less grand suburban platforms. The movie conformed to the book, and the platforms seen as 9 and 10 are in the real-life inner city platforms 4 and 5. However, there is, in fact, a platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross. It's located in the walkway area between platforms 9 and 10. So it's not actually at the one that was filmed.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's at the proper numbers. It's just not the proper location because she really meant 4 3/4.
9 3/4 just sounds so much
Way
better.
better.
No, I think it sounds just
It's because
fine.
we've been saying
4
4
3/4.
That's
4
it's just
3/4. Just Say it. Let it roll off the tongue. 4
Right.
3/4.
I would need to hear it like another 1,000,005 times,
Yeah.
though, in order for it to...
4
register.
3/4.
That doesn't mean for you to try.
No.
I can do it.
I can't.
Just next hour. Not even. Well, we won't even get into the movie. It'll just be me going 4 3/4. 4 3/4.
9 3/4.
4 3/4.
Sounds like something you'd put with, like, how much coffee you want, or how much sugar.
If you're using 4 3/4 of anything of sugar, dude, you're
Like, how
using
many
too much
pumps
sugar.
or something you want of whatever.
Why
syrup.
are you taking almost 5 pumps of sugar?
Listen, if you have a extra large cup, I'm gonna use normal terms instead of Starbucks terms right now. You need that much.
You mean a venti?
No, I mean a Trenti.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. I was just trying to make a role models reference. The tabby cat used in the movie ran away during filming.
That poor kitty.
It came back 2 days later.
Okay, I feel better now. I got so sad.
I thought I
As
was
she
gonna
strokes a cat.
Yeah.
He just wants to be snuggled.
I figured I'd get a bigger reaction on that one,
He
honestly.
told me the cat came back. I was about to go start a search party in London.
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, it was 18 years ago, dude.
Cats live till they're 20. It could still be alive.
That cat did not look 2. It looked like 7.
I still love it.
It's not an ugly cat.
Listen, it was a cute cat.
Oh wait, the tabby cat is the one that McGonagall uses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not Finch's cat.
Listen,
Mrs. Norris.
she was cute too.
Sure.
And then all the cats even the squishy face cats.
We don't need to get on about cats. Producer and director Chris Columbus stated that in interviews he was disappointed with the visual effects in the film, saying that they were rushed and never kept up to anyone's standards, and sought out to improve them in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This did not, however, prevent the film from being nominated for a BAFTA, which is like the British Oscars, for Best Visual Effects, which I heartily agree with him on. A lot of the special effects in this movie has not aged as well as its predecessors. And you can't really make the excuse to me that it's like, well, this one was like the oldest movie, so of course it had the least amount of advances in technology. Well, I'm like, Chamber of Secrets was a year later. What was the difference? Windows Millennium Edition versus Windows XP? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Who else? Richard Harris only agreed to take the part of Albus Dumbledore after his 11-year-old granddaughter threatened to never speak to him again. Yeah. Harry Potter's birthday in the books is July 31st, 1980, which is when I would have preferred for us to release this, but, you know, we got stuck with the Battle of Hogwarts holiday.
Yeah.
But I always thought about doing it on Harry's birthday, which for some reason in my head was August 11th. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't
That
know.
would have been cool. But Battle of Hogwarts is
We
cool.
could still have like a podcast party.
I don't know what that means,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to move on.
That's her response to anything you talk about, though. Let's just throw a party about it.
Yeah,
I have
it's like,
parties.
how do we record a podcast for the part? Do we just set the computer in the middle of the room with some microphones and just hope it all picks up?
Oh, God, I hope not.
And then it just is 6 hours.
Yeah.
That sounds horrific. So, J.K. Rowling was born July 31st, 1965. By coincidence, Richard Griffiths, who plays Uncle Vernon, was born July 31st, 1947. Daniel Radcliffe was once reported to be born on July 31st, 1989. But it was just a publicity stunt. He was actually born July 23rd.
So close.
And this is the only Harry Potter film not to feature Mark Williams, who plays Arthur Weasley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
He's
You
not
only
with them.
see...
Molly.
Yeah, and she's only in the one scene.
Yep.
Yeah, you really get to know them at the beginning of the second film. So we can get into the plot now, right, kids? We're only, 40 minutes into the podcast? Let's get into the plot.
Let's go.
So it opens up with a regular Warner Brothers logo.
Yeah, as it should.
Well, like, after all the other sequels have come out, it almost numbed me to the fact that it would just be the regular gold Warner Brothers logo, rather than, like, their gray, like, in the sky, like...
But it's all...
Well, that's the point. It slowly ages.
And it's happy.
If you put them all side by side, it's the first one would be the regular logo.
Yeah.
It gets more worn and aged with each movie.
Really?
Yeah. The first one, it's all happy-go-lucky. And then it gets darker and darker as the movie.
I like it. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun things. So we open up, we're at Privet Drive, and Dumbledore turns off all the lights with a weird lighter-looking thing. It's pretty gnarly. It's a great way to set the tone for this movie.
It's an illuminator,
Shut the fuck up, phone. And what is it called?
An illuminator.
Would it be a de-illuminator?
De-illuminator. That might be right.
Oh. I'm so mad at myself that it's my phone going off and not Jen's.
I know. Mine, I don't even know where mine is, but it's quiet.
Right?
It turns the lights off and lights them back up. It takes the light away, though.
Okay, so you can call it illuminator, I guess.
I think it might be what you said, though. It's possible. It's one of the two.
Who cares? McGonagall shows up as a kitty.
Yes, she does.
She's actually hanging around all day.
She's reading, and pretty sure she has little spectacles on.
It's real weird that they don't show her transform from the cat at the beginning of the movie, and they save that for when she's in the classroom.
They wanted more as like a surprise effect, though, for the students, I think.
Yeah, they really just let the shadow do the work there.
Right.
It's interesting. And then they're talking about, like, are the rumors true? Are the Potters really dead? Yes, the Potters are really dead. And I don't know why I just did a southern accent for some British people. Hagrid shows up to drop off baby Harry at the Dursleys' doorstep. And him and McGonagall are like, Dog, these people are going to, like, abuse this kid. We shouldn't leave him with them. But he's like, it's his only family, and he should be away from magic for now so he can be a normal boy. And it's like, he's not going to be a normal boy. He's going to be Annie from the Broadway play Annie.
Right. But what's crazy is, little do you know at the time, he still knows or thinks Voldemort's coming back.
Right.
So he's hiding him.
Yeah. Which is so...
It's kind of a you have to situation.
Yeah, and, like, all of it, it's just, like, it plays into what you learn at the end of 6, where it's, like, Dumbledore kind of knew the whole time that this all was going to happen and set it all up perfectly. Because why, and I know I'm jumping ahead a couple scenes, and we'll jump back, I promise, but why would Dumbledore have Hagrid pick up the Philosopher's Stone the same day he's going to go buy Harry fucking magic stuff? He's at the bar all the time.
Yeah, I guess
He could have had him do it any other day, but he had to put that in Harry's mind.
I guess because they were going there, he probably goes into the bar when he goes down there, but it's right before the term starts, right? So he would need that because school is starting, so that he can move it from Gringotts, because he's going to be stationed at Hogwarts.
Right, but he couldn't go the day before to get it? He had to wait for Harry?
Especially when you can apparate anywhere.
Uh-huh. There's no excuse why Harry had to be there.
To further the plot, bro. To further the plot.
That's what I'm saying. Dumbledore did it on purpose to further the plot.
Yep.
He's smart.
Alright, so, and then, once we have the baby dropped off at the doorstep, we get the opening title card. And that's when the John Williams music... What are you doing ASMR back there for? You just rustle with the chair, and I'm like, why is he adding crinkle sounds to the video?
I love that you just said ASMR, though, and the look he gives us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't watch the ASMR.
No, he knows that both of us do.
He hates when I watch, but it's, I don't know.
It's so soothing.
It is.
I don't like people that do, like, the weird mouth sound stuff.
I don't know. That one...
That freaks me out too much.
It's starting to annoy me now, and I'm liking the whisper, but the soap cutting one's the best.
I never watched a soap cutting
the soap
video.
cutting one. Watch it.
I'll give it a shot. I like role plays though, because I just want people to talk to me real
There's a
soft.
Harry Potter ASMR one. Fun fact
I know.
of life.
There's a couple of them.
Ooh, I've only seen the one.
Yeah, you can find a couple out there.
I will have to.
All right, enough ASMR talk though. So, yeah, John Williams score. What do we think about this? Amazing?
Oh, God, yeah. It's awesome.
And I know we don't know the whole list off the top of our heads, but where does this rank amongst the John Williams scores?
They're all great. It's really hard to rank
I
those.
know. I don't even
have one, to be honest.
I can't, I don't mean this to be mean in any way, but I don't think this is even top 5, but I think it's top 10.
Probably, yeah.
Because you have to consider, Star Wars,
For sure.
Jaws, and, all these other massive fucking hits. It's ridiculous. Why are you shaking your head at me,
she's like
Jennifer?
Harry
I
Potter.
don't like Star Wars. It's too confusing.
So you just had all the fans turn on you. Don't say more words.
Sorry.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't hurt yourself like this. Don't hurt yourself.
Y'all gotta love me.
No, they really don't have to do anything. So Dudley's fucking unbearable in his first scene in the movie.
He is.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Harry is just Cinderella living under a fucking staircase and having dust fall on his head, and it's just grab the bacon, make my coffee, boy.
36, but last year I had 37. Little dick.
Why his outfit though? I don't understand why they have him in that little weird schoolboy outfit in the middle of summer when he's a chunky little monkey.
Yeah, he probably should be in a t-shirt and shorts. And also, didn't he get a dirt bike in the book?
Something like that.
Or no, not like a motorcycle, but a
computer. There was a bunch of stuff.
yeah.
And he breaks it all.
Yeah. 2 days later, it's
He
like
has his
it's all
friend.
broken. They have a second bedroom for him where Harry can't sleep in, just
I
to
know.
pile all his broken shit.
and I think their excuse in the second one is they're throwing away most of the toys anyway, so he can move into the bedroom now.
Yeah.
Because he has a bedroom by the second one.
Right.
But for the first 10 years of his life, live under a stair.
I think they were also afraid of him too because they didn't
He
know
was growing.
and they didn't know he could not use magic outside of school.
Right.
You gotta remember, we have Dan and we have Rupert, who are both shorter. The characters actually grow very tall. Harry's not very tall, but Ron is very tall. But
Yeah.
Harry's taller than Dan. So that
Yeah.
little cupboard, that's when he starts to grow.
Yeah.
Second movie, third movie, he wouldn't fit under the cupboard no
That's
more.
true. That is true, too. And, yeah, oh my god, they are so tiny in this movie. I was when they walk into the Great Hall, I'm like, you're babies.
So on the train,
You're little tiny babies. I was like, wow, this is a children's
When
film.
they showed their audition tape, it's so funny. One of the talk shows showed their audition tape,
Yeah.
and all three of them are reading lines, and they point out a corner of it, and it's Emma, pointing her finger to something, and it's literally Emma doing her own lines and helping one of the boys with their lines. And she's doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That is so Hermione. That's probably what cinched her. So then we have to go to the zoo. And Harry starts talking to a snake. He's telling him all his dirty laundry about yeah, my parents are dead.
Yeah, we're kind of alike,
Yeah. You're, despite your rage, you're still just a rat in a cage. Despite my rage, I'm still just a rat in a
It was
cage.
the bred in captivity thing, right? It said on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
The snake points to when Harry's like, "Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
ever know your parents?"
Oh,
And
yeah.
he points with his head.
Right. And yeah, so he was like, yeah, you, me, we're kin. And then Dudley pushes him out of the way when the snake's all high perched up and stuff. And the glass disappears. Dudley falls into the tank. And the snake just thanks Harry as he makes his escape. Which is...
Thanks.
Yeah! Which is just real weird way to start off a movie if you've never read this book, where it's so this kid's gonna talk to snakes all the time? And we never address it again in the movie. We address it again later in the series, but we never address it again in the movie. Kat, what are you doing?
He wants to go in his hiding spot.
Yeah, maybe don't open and close the door 47 times? God, what a piece of shit. This
be
guy
nice.
is not a professional.
You be nice to the perfection.
Oh my god.
You're gonna let him in?
He does it all the time.
Never again. So what is next in this goddamn movie? We're only 5 minutes into it. When Dudley gets back up, the glass reappears. So now he's the rat in the cage.
Yep.
And which is real funny. And then Harry gets yelled at by Uncle Vernon and gets locked back up in the closet because, he knows it was his fault, even though Harry doesn't even know how he did it.
And then, he'd take away his meals, too.
Yeah, because that's okay to do to children.
Right.
That's safe. What the fuck? And then Harry receives his first letter from Hogwarts. And then, Jen, why don't you describe to me how the letters kept coming?
First they come through the post, then they close up the post, then they come in an egg. Every time she would open up the egg, there's a new letter.
Oh, yeah. Not the books in the movies.
True.
Remember.
And then they
It
come...
was, through the thing and then chimney, right?
Yeah,
chimney.
then they came flooding through the chimney.
And there were quite a few birds, and they were getting concerned because the neighbors would see.
Start to stop. Yep.
So Vernon's idea is, I want to bring the whole family to a lighthouse in the middle of nowhere, and they won't be able to find us. So, and it was Sunday, by the way, when.
Yep. Fine day Sunday.
Yeah. Do you know why?
Best day of the week.
There's
That's
no
right.
post.
No post on Sundays.
That's correct, Jenifer. Patrick. So that's when Harry starts blowing out his sand birthday cake candles. Saddest thing ever possible. Well, no.
How does he know his actual birthday?
They would tell him.
How would they
Did they?
know?
They would know.
Because they did.
Would they?
They did
There
know.
would still be a
Pretty
birth
strange.
certificate.
Yeah, but did they give them that? How would they
Probably.
get it?
I mean, I'm sure underneath the cloth, there's like a whole secret filing cabinet of stuff that they gave them.
Maybe.
But why would they even, if they didn't care about Harry, why would they acknowledge his birthday at all, even with a sock?
He would have to know his birthday for schooling purposes, like
Yeah.
filing into... Like,
Okay.
they can't treat him so shitty that he doesn't even know his own fucking birthday. Like, he still has to be able to, like, seem normal in public.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? And that's when we get Hagrid barreling into the lighthouse and barreling into this movie. Well, back into the movie. We saw him at the beginning, too. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and that's where we get our quintessential, "You're a wizard, Harry."
Yeah. Sorry about that. He just knocks down the door.
Tries to put it back up. Gives Dudley a pigtail on the way out the door because Vernon insulted Dumbledore.
That's not why. That is not why.
Yeah.
He was,
eating the birthday cake.
the birthday cake he brought specific for Harry.
Oh, right.
But he did do it because of what he said. That
True.
was the whole point behind it.
Which, what a little shit. He's eating his cousin's cake. It's probably the first birthday cake he's got his whole goddamn life.
My favorite part of that scene is when he grabs the gun and bends it.
Yes.
Dry up, Dursley, great prunes.
I love that. Alright. Oh, yeah. So, after we get the "You're a wizard, Harry" thing, he looks at his aunt and uncle like, "You knew the whole time?" And Aunt What's-Her-Face fucking gives this long, petty speech about her fucking sister and how everybody thought she was so fucking perfect and I thought she was a fucking freak. And I was like, you're an asshole. Like, fuck you. You're the one that would hate your gay brother and shit. You know what I mean? Like, everybody else would be super cool in the family. You're the one that would be giving him dirty looks from across the living room on fucking Christmas and shit.
Yeah, that's why in the book it says she has long neck to look over fences. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
All that kind of annoying shit. So then Harry gets to learn what the world muggle is. And we get the pig thing that happens. And then Harry just goes with Hagrid to Diagon Alley.
Yep, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Everything they do there.
I think Diagon Alley is my favorite place out of everything in the Wizarding World.
Oh, Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade? Really good.
Ooh.
Really, really good question. Which one do you take?
Which one's Hogsmeade to be honest?
Hogsmeade is the one where they go to like Honeydukes and they go.
Oh yeah,
They go and
yeah,
drink
yeah.
butterbeer and
Uh,
the three broomsticks.
I think Diagon Alley, because you still get the cute coffee shops later and all of that. So it's more. It depends on your personality.
Yeah, you could. I mean, they're both pretty cool.
I'm gonna go Hogsmeade because I feel like I could go and smoke weed on the side of one of the buildings, and nobody's gonna harass me.
I
Yeah.
like to hustle and bustle and go, 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 go.
You know, with the John Williams score, when they were actually going through Diagon Alley, it just felt like an old Victorian London street in the middle of like a Christmas Carol movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I was just like, this is kind of weird.
I think it sets the tone of like that wonderment perfect with him just walking around and there's bats hanging upside down like for sale and there's all these crazy things he'd never seen before in his life.
Like,
Kind of like Christmas morning. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No, that is like I appreciate your guys' points. Oh, but to speak before we get into Diagon Alley, we were at that bar, and everybody gets all starstruck by Harry, and that's when he starts realizing like he has like folklore to him. He's kind of a celebrity, which is like strange to him as a kid that grew up under a set of stairs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like, just being, like, totally mistreated your whole childhood, and meanwhile you're, like, Britney Spears level famous?
Right.
well,
It would be so weird.
And we have to
But
meet
it's
the villain,
why-
too.
It's probably why he's such a good, like, person.
Yeah,
through it
because
all.
he's, like, actually had to learn, like, humility and all these other things that, like, in the harshest ways possible, of course, but, you know.
Yep.
But we also get to meet Professor Quirrell while we're at the bar, too.
Conveniently.
Yep. Because, you know, of course, the first professor we introduce directly to Harry has to be the villain. That only makes sense. And then we have to go to Gringotts. And Harry's fucking rich.
Oh, yeah.
He's got so much money.
The Gringotts is always so cool. You know, when they go underground and everything.
Yeah, it looks like Indiana Jones is about to rob it. You know what I mean?
Yup.
In the best way possible, of course, you know. And they also grab the Philosopher's Stone, and we go to Ollivander's for a wand. And
Yeah, Ollivander's awesome.
Ollivander's is tight, but I do have a genuine question. How many times a day does Ollivander go through that trial and error bullshit with kids?
Ollivander remembers every wand he ever sold.
That's
Sold.
fine.
Yeah.
But remember, it took him 4 tries to get the right wand for Harry, and
Yeah.
like things got broken the whole time. Like, how often does that happen in there?
that's true.
Harry, probably not. I mean, probably often enough, but I would guess not in the frequency you see with Harry. Because with Harry, he probably has... It's probably like somebody who sells shoes to him, you know what I mean? He could probably take a look at you and go, I don't know, like, this might work. But with Harry, little do you know, once again in the first book, he has part of Voldemort's soul inside of him. So
Correct, but
his wand pairing is going to be the twin of Voldemort's, which, of course, he reveals in this scene.
right, of course, but like, why wouldn't he go for that like second?
Just because, like I said, maybe he's looking
He
at him and
didn't
just
want it.
didn't think,
It
just
would.
didn't
Maybe
snap
it was
into
a little
that.
bit
If
in
he
denial.
has part of Voldemort, he could have easily turned out evil.
And I mean, he can just use magic to fix everything that breaks. But I would just be like, how are you not getting through the day without something catching fire or something? Because somebody's
Right.
going to make
I
wires
want to
go
know what
haywire.
happened when Fred and George
I
went
imagine,
to get their wands.
Right? I feel like they purposely tore down the building.
they do it on purpose. Imagine when Neville went in there. Good God.
Oh,
Yeah, the desk flipped on Ollivander.
Yeah.
He was like, "Say when Guardian live." What else is next in this movie? Oh yeah, so Hagrid gets Harry Hedwig.
which is a good gift, but how do you know he wants an owl?
Because who wouldn't want that?
I
so
don't want an owl. They're cute from far away, but those things are terrifying. Give me a cat.
They make the perfect watchdog because they're up all night.
A cat could be a watchdog.
Cats are evil.
Well,
Notice how supervillains have cats?
but birds are terrifying, so...
Yeah, in like Alfred Hitchcock movies, but like here
No,
they're
those things
your
attack
best.
you. I freaking hate birds. I hate birds.
I'm gonna get her a bird for her birthday.
No.
She's
But-
like any animal besides a bird.
I hate
That's
birds.
basically.
But
You can give me a toy boy.
by the
bird.
time this episode will have gone up, it would have been her birthday like a month ago. So like she'll already be like doing Instagram stories with a bird by then.
No bird.
So and then Harry gets explained his origin story basically by Hagrid in the middle of the bar, which I could ask you to go over for me, but at the same time, if you're listening to a Harry Potter podcast, do we have to go over the origin story?
Nope.
No. Yeah, you know the history.
Yeah, Voldemort killed his parents.
I think even if
Love.
you're not a Harry Potter fan, you know the history.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Darth Vader is Luke's dad thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it kind of works the same way. Or like, Batman's parents got killed in an alley.
Right.
And I've only watched a few Batman movies.
Only a few? You haven't watched all 37 of them?
There's 37.
No.
There's 37.
There's 8,
I've
9?
watched
9.
3?
Tree.
2 or 3.
Tree. She says.
3's too low.
So that's
No.
like 2.5.
I used to like Batman when I was little, if that counts, people.
Alright, let's move on. And then after we learn the origin story, we get dropped off at the train station. And I had a question here. Why doesn't Hagrid just take him to Hogwarts with him? They're both going to Hogwarts.
Yeah, maybe he wanted him to just bond.
Yeah, like experience it with the other kids.
I don't know.
I thought that too, and like that's cool. But also like he's like, okay, he's not even like, okay, meet you there, kiddo. Pound it. Like,
Why he didn't show him how to get on, but
yeah.
Hagrid's not all. He's not all there. I love Hagrid.
Yeah, that's just the director constantly trying to remind you of magic. You know what I mean? Just having him kind of disappear.
Yeah, and they
like
do make
that.
Hagrid kind of dopey in this one, where like he keeps having that reoccurring bit of like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, okay, we get it, Chris. And then we get to meet the Weasleys. Would you like to explain the Weasleys to us, Patrick?
Oh, when you see him in the thing with Mrs. Weasley, and she basically explains, packed with muggles, he's like, muggles, and
Yeah.
then it's like, he just sees them run through, and he's like, what the fuck, you just run into the wall? How do I do this shit?
Yeah, and she's just like, well, yeah, stupid. You just saw 3 kids do it.
Yeah. You know what's weird? In the book, the entire time, Ginny's like, I want to go this year, Mommy. I want to go this year. She has one line in the movie, and it's like, good luck. But like,
Yeah.
he couldn't have had her, like, being like, I want to, because, come on, you're her age. You're 1 year away from going. You wouldn't be like, oh, I just want to go this year. They get to run through the wall and shit. I
Yeah.
want to do this.
It would have been really, like, offsetting, but funny if they did the gag where she tried to run through the wall and just smash
It
it.
didn't work though, because when his parents go through in the next movie, in the next book with Ginny,
Yeah, but they're wizards already. She's not old enough yet, so I would
so
think...
you're not born non-wizard.
I know, but she's not of
Yeah,
schooling age.
You notice how conveniently in the first one she sends them through, but in all the rest of them, they can follow through with them,
Yeah.
the parents. So
But plus, they're like Ministry of Magic people. It's like...
So my only thought is maybe she was worried Ginny was going to try to run on the train and escape,
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
because she is the most daring, I think.
No, the twins.
Yeah, the twins don't give 2 fucks.
But she is...
The last thing the twins say to her before they get on the train is they fuck her around with her about, like, she calls for Fred and it's actually George.
But it's actually really Fred.
Yeah, and then they both go running onto the train without being like, bye, Mom. Nothing. Like, there's just like, we're witty. Peace. And then where are we at? Oh, yeah. Harry and Ron become fast friends on the train.
Yeah.
And they buy the whole candy cart. Because Harry feels bad for Ron that he's got like some homemade sandwich or something. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a poor kid too. But I'm not poor anymore. Let's have all the candy.
He's probably never had candy in his whole life.
I bet he snuck a piece from Dursley's piles or something.
No,
But-
he probably would have counted and knew how many pieces he had. He's fat.
Yeah, so he still would have risked it at one point or another.
Harry probably got hit even when he didn't have any. I know you took some.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and like that is such like a poor kid thing to do. Like if you ever remember like shoveling snow or something, you end up with like $60 for the end of the day, and you're like, this is like all the money in the world, and you blow it all in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. You go to the corner store and buy a ridiculous amount of candy
Yeah,
and
you
drinks.
like order yourself a pizza because you think you're awesome, and go buy like all these snacks, and you're like, I'm king of the fucking world right now.
Yep.
Birthday money every
555 deal domino, son.
Right? Anywho's all. So then we meet Hermione. She just lets herself into their little trolley and fixes Harry's glasses. And
Hey, you seen a toad? You're dirty. Bye.
you know, I'm gonna say something kind of controversial right now. Emma Watson is not good in this movie.
Oh, really? You don't think so?
No, she gets good in the later movies, but her face is off in this movie. Like, her expressions are off. And, like, some of the ways she delivers some of her lines, I'm like, I can tell this is an 11-year-old who hasn't acted before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can really see them all when they come out of their shell. Like, the second movie, there's parts where when you're watching Daniel, you're just like, wow, he really improved from the second movie.
Yeah, because even when they're playing chess, he's like, wait! Don't move! We're still playing. And he just says it so weirdly pronounced. Yeah. He's like, we're still playing.
Yeah.
Alright, Danny, chill the fuck out. I know you're tired. I'm sorry.
He needs his nap time.
Then we go to Hogwarts, and McGonagall explains the sorting hat and the house cup, which, you know, basically you can be rewarded points, and they go to your house, or you get deducted
Their
points.
first glimpse, though, is actually going across on the lake with
Yep.
Hagrid.
With the moats, or whatever you want to call them?
Yep.
Not
And
moats, but...
not the boat.
Yeah, but like the little boats, whatever you call
But
them.
Harry is excited to see Hagrid, and Ron's just in pure awe.
Yeah, because he's never seen an 8.5 foot tall man yet.
He's half giant.
Yeah. Which is interesting, because he did grow up, like, with his dad working at the Ministry of Magic. But I guess you wouldn't visit your dad at the office that much.
No.
But I imagine there's, like, giants in there sometimes.
No, because they didn't get along with giants.
Oh, right.
Giants don't really become friends until the end.
Oh, yeah, okay. Again, this is why you guys are here, so I don't say too many dumb things.
You know whose first rise the Giants sided with him, I believe.
Oh, right, yes.
I believe.
Thank you for the reminders. See, guys, this is why we're doing this together as a team. Who else do we have here? Oh, so then we get into the actual sorting. But before that, Draco has to be the most Malfoy, cunty motherfucker possible. Where he's like, can't get mixed up with the dirtbag families, homie. Let's be best bros. And Harry's like, nah, dude, I don't like assholes.
But he gets along with Hermione, and I love Hermione, but she's also kind of a bitch.
But she's like, it's because she knows how resourceful she is. She's a confident young woman.
You can't be too confident, because then you come across as a bitch, and then no one loves you.
Nah, you shouldn't ever have to hide your confidence. Work it, girl. Work it.
You see, yeah, but she's... I don't
You
know.
can be confident without phrasing things as cruelly as she
She,
does.
Yeah,
at the
she-
beginning of
sounds
the
really
movie.
stuck up.
Right.
Yeah, she's a little like, I'm better than you and you know it about it a little bit. But then once we get to like 14, 15, she starts realizing what she's saying. She comes
halfway
up.
through the first movie, she calms down.
True.
But at first, you're supposed to kind of make her annoying so you can see why Ron eventually is mean to her. And then they have to make up, and then she, isn't as annoying anymore.
Yeah, I have a note here about something that... Oh, it comes up real soon. so I'm gonna leave it be. Yeah, when they first walk into the Great Hall, they look like such little babies. The score sounds Home Alone-y at this part I wrote down. Where it's like, do, 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 do. It sounds like the opening part of the hair. You know, like when you just see the guy run into the statue of Home Alone, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, that's all you hear during the Great Hall scene. But then we have to get into Dumbledore talking, where he talks about how the third floor corridor is out of bounds to anyone who doesn't want to die a painful death. Hi, 11-year-olds. Here's a thing that's going to murder you if you walk in there.
There's an awesome meme online of him saying that, and then the reaction of the students, and all the other wizard kids are like, sounds about right, and Daniel is terrified.
Yeah, right.
He's just like, what did he just say?
Yeah. Which, of course, that's how him and Hermione should be, where it's just like, the fuck did we just sign up for?
Well, Hermione researched it, and probably a lot of the other Muggleborns. Harry was kind of just told at the last minute.
Okay,
and then,
so better
throwing
question.
you in.
How did Hermione get on the train?
Right.
She's like,
It had to have been in her letter, or she had books and everything if you listen to it.
Because she had probably visited Diagon Alley first.
How did she know about Diagon Alley?
That would have probably had to been part of her letter thing, because they knew she was a Muggle, so they're like, here's this stuff.
They just give her a letter, or do they actually have someone go
I was just about to
it?
say, I imagine they have a department at the ministry specifically for that.
Like recruiters, like for college football kids?
Well, not recruiters so much, it's Muggles using magic.
Right.
Almost detecting it and going and informing them.
There's
of why
one
this is
theory,
happening.
I don't know how accurate it could be, that Mary Poppins was that.
That's a fan, made up fan thing.
Yeah, but it could kind of, not her, but someone like that could do something like that.
So
that was a fan thing
now.
on Facebook, babe.
I know,
Did
but
you see that?
I'm so angry right now.
it's okay.
I'm just sitting here fuming.
It's okay.
Let's get to the sorting, goddammit. Hermione's called first, which is weird because her name starts with a G. And Ron calls his future wife mental.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's his first take on the woman he'll eventually marry and have children with years and years down the road. She's fucking mental. Alright, bro. And then we get Draco, and the hat barely touches his perfectly greasy hair before it goes, Slytherin!
Yeah, it more spits it. It spits Slytherin.
Slytherin. No, it's not that harsh. Ron's next, and he gets Gryffindor, and then just looks like he just got to pee after not getting to pee for 4 hours. His relief face is so bad. He's like, oh, the biggest goofy cartoon grin.
Right, and it's because the Sorting Hat was so over-exaggerated to it. Ha! Another Weasley!
Yeah.
That's all in the book, too, though. The ha! Another Weasley, damn.
There's a song.
You guys,
we don't
multiply.
ever get the Sorting Hat song.
Oh, yeah!
I'm very disappointed. I want that song.
You like songs and everything.
I do. I could have sung the song.
That sounds like the sentence she just said should be wrong, but it's not. What was I about to say? Oh, but yeah, it's weird that Ron went before Harry, because Potter, Weasley.
Yeah.
Instead they go Weasley, Potter.
There's no method to their sorting.
Nope. They're just like, whatever's convenient to the plot line.
Maybe it's birthdays?
Yeah, they could do it by birthday, or...
Still weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Harry's next, and the Sorting Hat immediately rats him out that he's in one go Slytherin. He's like, maybe Slytherin. She's like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. He's like, why not Slytherin? And it's like, maybe you don't want to yell that Sorting Hat.
But he doesn't actually say it out loud.
Yeah, that's
it's in
the
your
weird
head.
thing.
They're doing it out loud like that so we can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it's like a more inner monologue thing, right?
Yeah, when he announces the house, everybody can hear it, but most of the stuff he's saying, I
Fair
guess.
enough. They could have made that. Nah, they couldn't have made it more clear. Let's move on. And, Yeah, and then the feast begins, and we get to learn about Snape, and we get to meet another Monty Python alum, Nearly Headless Nick, played by John Cleese, who is so interesting to see in this movie, because he's probably the person I've seen the most post-Harry Potter craze in other things. Like, I love John Cleese. He's amazing. Nearly headless? How are you nearly headless?
Look at this.
Yeah, which is real gruesome from a child's movie. It's like, that's still like ghost insides of your neck.
For real.
Real gnarly.
Although, yeah, and the Bloody Baron isn't soaked in blood. Like, showing somebody's decapitated head is okay.
Oh, yeah.
But having a ghost covered in blood isn't.
I mean, at least, like, you know, it's just Carrie. Which is also a rated R film. Let's move on. And then Percy gives the Gryffindor quarters password to the lady painting. I was going to write it down, but...
The fat lady.
Well, you know. She didn't have to sing. That was good.
The third movie.
Oh, yeah, she does, doesn't she?
She tries, and then she breaks the glass.
That's one of the things I really hate about the third movie. But we're going to move on. So then it's time for the boys' first class. And of course, they're late to McGonagall's class.
Yep.
And that's when we get to see her transform. Fully do her anamorph thing. From her little tappy cat into actual her. And she's like, oh, good job, guys. You're late on the first fucking day. Proud of you.
Why didn't they just follow Hermione, though, from breakfast?
Ron, though. That was bloody brilliant. I love that.
Thank you for the assessment, Mr. Weasley. And then Snape just comes barreling into his classroom monologuing. Like, he doesn't take a breath before already starting his sentences. It's ridiculous. And then he yells at Harry for taking notes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're not paying attention. He's like, he's writing down every word you say. The fuck are you talking about, man? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. And then what's the next class we get? Because there's a whole montage of
I
them.
think we go to flying next.
No, we have to go to another day where we have breakfast and mail comes. And then Neville gets his rememball.
Oh, yeah.
And the one thing that I did see in the trivia that was like way more noticeable to me this time was when the rememball turns red.
Remember all.
Whatever the fuck. Who cares? Yell at me on Twitter if you want to.
I will.
It's red because he's forgetting something. He's the only one not wearing his robe.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Right? Everybody else has their proper robes on. He's just there in his sweater and his tie.
Why does no one, like, in his house point that out to him?
He's always alone, if you notice.
He is.
Like, everybody else is kind of in pairs, and then Neville...
Well, he's
Neville's
kind of a
alone.
fucking dork.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens. And then Madam Hooch shows up for flying lessons. And we do our up drill.
Love that scene.
Yeah. Do you think Daniel Radcliffe was genuinely laughing when they did the whole broom knocks Ron in the face thing?
Yeah.
I think both. I think he was supposed to, but it was a genuine laugh.
Shut up, Harry. And then Neville's broom goes haywire.
Naturally.
Do we get explained why that happens?
Just because he's a spaz. Like, that's, they really build him up to be the spaz so he can kind of be the hero he is by the end of it.
They were trying to make you think he was a what was it, squib?
It was really building for the fifth one, because when, that's when he joined Dumbledore's army, and it's like, oh, Neville can do things if you teach him the right way, and then he ends up being one of the best by the end of it.
Yeah. I kept watching it this time thinking, like, how does this connect to Quirrell again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it has nothing to do with him. It's just, Neville just makes his broom go weird. And then he has to go to the hospital wing. So Madam Hooch has to bring him there, and she just leaves all the rest of the kids as just like, don't do anything stupid. To a bunch of 11-year-olds. Is she a first-year teacher? You know what I mean? But
I wonder if she's pure witch, though, because She doesn't, if you look at her facial features, she doesn't, her nose and her eyes,
They're supposed to look more owly.
just because she's a fine teacher.
I think that's just like a thematic thing they decided to do weirdly.
Oh,
I have no
she's
idea
so
why.
precious looking.
Yeah, no, she's
Precious
one
looking.
of those characters described to, J.K. Rowling would describe characters a certain way. Her eyes were supposed to be like that. Just like Umbridge was supposed to look very toad-like. Like, she uses that terminology a lot.
Okay.
Like, Wormtail being like a rat, which is why he was a
Yeah.
rat and stuff like that.
Yeah, he had a very pointed outward face, everything. Who actually, I believe, in the live-action 101 Dalmatians remake, Arthur Weasley and Wormtail are the two burglars.
Is Wormtail?
I believe so.
We're gonna have to go back and watch that now, Pat.
Thanks.
I am so sorry.
Don't worry, Andy, you can watch it with us.
I'm good. I love Glenn Close and everything, but I am solid gold, baby. So what happens next? Malfoy flies up with Neville's ribbon ball, and Harry goes after him, and after he throws it across the court, he actually makes a really great catch, and McGonagall sees it and is like, Harry, you, me, now, let's go. And he's like, fuck, I'm about to get thrown out of school. I'm going to have Gryffindor have all its points taken away. And instead we go to Oliver Wood's class.
Yep.
Pull him out of class. He's like, hey, Woods, here's your new seeker.
Yeah, that scene with Wood is so funny. That's the start of why McGonagall is the best teacher of them all.
Yeah, totally.
I love McGonagall. It's just like, oh, you were supposed to get expelled? Boom, starting seeker.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else is like, ugh, he's like James. McGonagall's like, fuck yeah, he's like James.
And, like, it's so weird to me that, like, she does this thing where she tells him that he's the youngest Quidditch player or youngest freshman starter in 100 years or whatever, but doesn't tell him that his father was a seeker or anything about his family. Everybody's so cagey about his past for whatever reason. Like, even the simple stuff like, your dad used to play Quidditch too.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a little odd to me. But then Woods explains Quidditch to Harry. Either you want to take that scene?
Yeah, it's real fun when he tells him, you know, what each ball does. You know, sends the bludgers up and has him hit it with the bat. You know, takes the quaffle out and then lets him look at the snitch before it flies away. It's cool. Cool
He said
scene. And it
would be
explains everything to everybody, so when they watch the Quidditch scenes, they semi-know what they're looking at.
And
Right.
he also says he'd be a pretty good beater as well.
Yeah, when he hits the bludger away from him.
It's really cool. Well, I really like Oliver Wood.
Well, in the next scene, we have another goblin teaching whatever class. And we had to do
Charms.
the... Yes, thank you.
Flitwick.
Thank you. And so that's when we have to do the feather scene.
Swish and flick. Wingardium Leviosa.
Exactly.
It's Leviosa. Not Leviosa.
Leviosa. Whatever. Yeah, I literally just had the note written down, flick and swish. Then Ron makes Hermione cry. And it also happens to be Halloween that day.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay. So we're at the Halloween feast that night. And Quirrell comes screaming in, there's a troll! There's a troll loose!
So extra.
So over the top. where
It's
it's
fun
like,
to be extra sometimes.
yeah, but can you not give away your evil plot?
Yeah.
But then the boys realize that Hermione's still in the bathroom crying. So she doesn't know there's a troll around. So they try and go get her. But the troll beat them to the bathroom. And Jen, you take this one.
Hermione comes out and sees the troll. She almost dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is very close. The troll takes his hammer thing, whatever a troll has.
Big club.
Big club, and smashes all of the stalls and the sink. And
Oh
then,
yeah, when she's underneath it and
Yep.
a couple of minutes later.
And then Ron and Harry distract him, and I forgot how Harry gets on top of the troll.
I think he just climbs up its back or something weird.
Maybe grabs onto the thing, gets swung up,
And-
like
Yes,
swings it,
yes,
something
the club,
like
yes.
And then they do the new spell they just learned that day.
Yeah, the Wingardium Leviosa. But Ron doesn't do Wingardium Leviosa till after Harry's getting, like, hung upside down and is, like, barely missing club swing. He's like, fucking do something already. It's like, what?
He sticks his wand up his nose.
Yep,
too.
Yeah.
that's the only thing he could think of. He's a wizard too, but he forgets all
Well,
the time.
and they don't know the proper spells yet.
Why can't Hermione, who knows?
Well, she doesn't. They haven't gotten that far in defense against the
But
dark
she
arts or
reads.
anything. You know what
She
I mean?
reads more.
A lot of that, babe, you can't learn from a book, right? Like, you need an instructor to be helping you through it. That's the whole. Otherwise, they could be sitting at home reading the books, right? And just trying to teach themselves magic.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything that helps me figure out if the guy who's plays Wormtail is also in 101 Dalmatians. So I'm going to move on from that now. And yeah, so eventually, Ron dropping the big club onto the troll's head made some go nights.
Because he's a baby troll.
Yep. And that's when McGonagall deducts 5 points from Hermione because she says that she went looking for the troll on her own and Harry and Ron had to save her, but then gives Ron and Harry each 5 points.
Yeah, McGonagall's a G.
Yeah. Just giving her own house 5 more points. And then we get some of the gnarliest shit ever, right? Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm all the way at the top. So, yeah, then McGonagall buys Harry a Nimbus 2000.
Yup.
Which, like, clear favoritism, real nice lady. But at the same time, Snape's trying to get in his fucking head.
But he also did. If you're gonna play on the school team, you need to have your own broom so you can practice more. I feel like.
I mean, I think they got a broom when they were in Diagon Alley.
I don't think
She
so.
donated it. If it's okay for Malfoy's father to buy the entire team broomsticks in the second movie, I don't see how that's that big of a deal. I understand she's staff, but
I think.
Yeah, I think the staff part is what bothers me, where it's like that's an actual conflict of interest.
yeah, but your son being on the team and gifting these things to get him in a position that he doesn't deserve is just as controversial, I'd say.
It is,
If
but
not
It
more.
is, but it's also like the legalities around it are a lot grayer, I feel like, than like a teacher buying a student, like a football coach buying the quarterback grip gloves and cleats and stuff. I feel like would be way more of a no-no than like if the running back's dad bought the whole team cleats.
true. But then
Right.
again,
And
first years aren't supposed to have their own broom. I'm pretty sure
they're not supposed to be on a house team, is what it is.
they're not supposed to be on the house team. I thought they can't have broom.
I think that might be a thing, too.
Are all the teachers super rich? Because, like, McGonagall must have had a bunch of money to, like, just be thrown around to just buy this random fucking... I mean, no, it's not a random fucking kid, but a kid that's not hers, a fucking the nicest broom on the market.
Unless
Right.
her and Dumbledore went in now, and Dumbledore is just secretive.
Or she just took money out of Harry's bank account without
True.
his consent.
That's true, because technically, she probably is, when he's there, like his quote-unquote guardian. So
He's
Yeah.
the head of his house,
she
right?
might have access to it.
And then we get Magnitude. Pop, pop. Introducing us into the first Quidditch game of the season. And the only one we get in this movie. Gryffindor versus Slytherin.
Lee Jordan.
Who? That's his name?
character, yeah.
Oh, okay. And his actual Harry Potter name.
Yes.
I'm just going to refer to him as Magnitude. Because pop, pop.
What?
Don't worry about it. So, yeah, Magnitude introduces us. And then, yeah, we're going back and forth. The Gryffindors get 20 points up. And actually, the first point is scored by a lady in the movie. And I'm like, that's nice. Like, 2001 and a woman's coming out strong right out of the gate in the game.
I like
Is
that
it
they're...
Katie?
I think so. I like that
Katie.
they're unisex, though. or not unisex.
Well, that's how it is in the book. Like, the chasers are, I'm pretty sure, is it 2 or 3? I think either there's 3 chasers, and I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them are girls. I don't remember.
I like that, though, how, like, the guys aren't separated. You're equal.
And they're bashing each other around, too, because
Yeah.
remember they fucking make that one girl go through the tarpy part of one
Oh,
of the...
yeah.
What, you know what I'm trying to say. Everybody knows what I'm trying to say. When that one girl falls. And then we take Oliver Wood out with the bludger, and then we're up 20 all.
Yep.
And finally, that's when Harry sees the golden snitch. But the Malfoy Seeker, the Slytherin Seeker is right on his tail, just bashing him back and forth. And finally, they both have to nosedive after this fucker. And the one kid lets up. He's like, I can't nosedive right into the fucking ground. Harry waits till the last fucking second. Fucking finally steers it up and thinks he's fucking the all-time greats and starts standing on his broom. Standing.
He wants to just go surfing.
I might just impulsively just throw some Surfin' USA by the Beach Boys underneath that. But yeah, so then he just reaches out for the golden snitch, and it weirdly just ends up in his mouth. And 150 points to Gryffindor, and we win. Which is one of the beefs I had in the earlier scene when Oliver was explaining Quidditch to Harry, where he was like, if you catch the golden snitch, then we win. And it's like, that's not true. Because if the other team's up by 160 points and you have no points, then him catching the golden snitch would just mean you lose by 10 points. So it's not an automatic win thing. It should, because that's an astronomical amount of points. But if the game's going on 5 hours and we're up to 570 versus
it's a
400,
statement that's generally true, but possibly couldn't be that way. It's not a certainty.
Right.
It's just one of those things where it basically is.
It feels kind of
Generally
like,
is.
and I only say this because of the length being so varied, like in a Quidditch game. Feels like a boxing or an MMA match where you're like, if you just hit this certain type of strike, the fight will be over because the guy will be knocked out clean. And it's like, not every time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not always going to end in the first round. It might have to go all 15 or 5, whatever sport we're referring to. Then the kids tell Hagrid what they think is going on, and he gives up the name Nicholas Flamel, which might be our first. I shouldn't have said that gag.
Yep.
Was this before or after they see Fluffy?
Before.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's before, and it's because we have to find out the name Nicholas Flamel, have it be Christmas, and we find out that Harry has presents, and
Yeah.
he gets the invisibility cloak, and that's when he tries to go and search in the forbidden section of the library.
I thought they did run into Fluffy before
Yeah,
that, though.
because the staircase
By
moves.
circumstance.
Oh, right, the staircase move.
That's when they see Fluffy and run away.
Right.
And then that's why they first start asking questions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What that dog is guarding is between Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel. Who's Nicholas Flamel?
Right.
Yep.
Thank you. Sorry, skip that part of my notes.
Fluffy's kind of cute.
Fluffy's awesome.
I want a Fluffy.
Yeah.
The only part I had beef with was when he drooled all over Ron. Was fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That and the troll boogies I really did not need in this movie.
But the drool just makes it more accurate to a giant puppy, because
Yeah, sure. But, yeah, he uses the invisibility cloak to look up Nicholas Flamel in the restricted section of the library. He has to escape Felch before he gets caught in there. And then sees an altercation between Snape and Quirrell. Because, oh yeah, we forgot to mention that the kids think that Snape was jinxing the broom during the Quidditch match. Harry's broom.
So Hermione sets Snape on fire.
Right, which actually breaks the real person's concentration, but we'll keep that a secret for now. Shut the fuck up, cat.
He's being quiet. He's saying hello.
No one cares.
I care. There's someone on there who cares.
Dude, there's so many people mad at me right now for being mean to the cat.
Good. Good. He's
No.
a good cat, you guys.
No one believes you.
His name's Nala. He's good.
He has a lady name.
I thought he was a girl.
Oh, well. You were wrong.
I was, but he loves his name.
Alrighty. We're going to move on now. So, after we see the altercation between Snape and Quirrell, where Snape is all like, you don't want to make an enemy out of me, motherfucker. It's just magically spring now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish.
He
I
also
wish life was
finds
like that.
the mirror of Erised that night too, and sees
Yes,
his
he
parents
does.
in it.
I'm just starting to
Oh.
skip over things all over the place. But yeah, we find the mirror
It's
of
such a
Erised.
long movie, bro.
It is.
And we see his parents, and then he has to
Yep.
bring Ron in, and he's like, Ron, don't you see my parents? He's like, I'm head boy and hold the Quidditch cup, and why, blimey, I'm the awesome... Blimey. That's like an Australian thing, you idiot. I also, like, am, like, Quidditch captain and stuff. It's like,
Head boy,
yeah, he's like,
everything.
is this the mirror that predicts the future? And Harry's like, how can it? My parents are dead. And that's a real bummer.
Right.
And then, what else happens here?
I wonder if Ron would be head boy if he stayed in school.
He's a
Nah.
prefect. Probably not head boy.
Was he really a prefect though?
Yes.
Because he did good, or because they needed him to kind of keep a better eye on Harry?
Well, they wouldn't let Harry be a prefect, so...
But they needed someone to make sure he was going to behave.
I feel like he was like an honor student, but not a high honor student.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
I feel like that has how Harry was too. Like Hermione was probably the only high honor student out of the three.
Yeah.
But that's just me. So what came next was Dumbledore tries to explain to Harry the mirror of Erised, and is like, we're gonna have to move this because I don't want you getting lost in this mirror. This mirror will drive you mad, because you have to understand, it does make us see the things we want, but it's not gonna give us the things we want.
Yeah.
And it's really gnarly that when you're watching this, you can kind of almost think that Richard Harris is supposed to be looking into the mirror and seeing Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wants,
Right.
is weird-looking gray Johnny Depp,
Yeah, it is weird.
right? But anywho, so
That's the real first big interaction between Harry and Dumbledore.
yeah, it is the first like true meeting of the minds of him trying to teach him something very important.
Yeah.
It's spring, and Hermione finally figures out the Philosopher's Stone. Because she just found Nicholas Flamel randomly in this book she took out weeks ago for some light reading.
Yeah.
Which, like, whatever. Convenient storytelling. They then try and talk to Hagrid, but he's hatching a dragon at that time, so he's, like, only half listening to them.
Yep, and for Norbert.
Yep. And then Malfoy's a snitch.
Yep, and gets himself in trouble.
Yep. So now they all have to go to detention.
Yep, with Filch in the Forbidden Forest.
Filch doesn't do the detention. He just brings them, and they do the detention with Hagrid.
Fair.
Yeah.
But
and
Neville is with them in the book, or in the book and in the movie.
not in the movie.
Yes, he is.
No.
No, it's just 4 of them. It's just Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Draco that get detention.
I'm pretty sure she's right about the book, but not
I
in the
think
movie.
so too, but not in the movie.
Yeah, not in the movie, but in the book.
I think you're right too. Let us know, people that follow us on Twitter. Alright, so anyways, then we had to go to detention, and it's like, hey, remember how we told you guys aren't allowed to go in the forest because you'll probably die? You're going into the forest. Doesn't that sound fun? And we're also not going to explain to you why, But we are going to remind you that, like, 200 years ago, we used to just hang kids from the ceiling by their thumbs. So at least you're not doing that.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, what you're doing is finding a bleeding unicorn.
Yeah, you're
bleeding
looking
a lot.
Yeah, you're looking for a thing that can kill unicorns. You know, one of the most powerful, majestic creatures of all time. We're going to look for the killer of it. Because that's safe for 11-year-olds to do.
Yeah. And then we get our first look at Voldemort in
Yeah.
those woods.
Because Quirrell / Voldemort is sucking the blood of a unicorn. And then it sees Harry and Draco. Because they have been split up at this point, with Ron and Hermione going with Hagrid one way, and Draco and Harry going another way, which is possibly the dumbest thing in this whole movie. Is like,
But no, because what happened originally, well, they had to split up for obvious reasons, but
There was 2 trails.
yeah,
but like Hagrid should never have left the children alone.
true.
He just never should have.
There?
That's just like that. I'm not saying that's bad writing. I think that makes Hagrid a irresponsible person.
Well, he really is.
He is, but like that's a side of the irresponsibility that I just didn't need in my world.
Right.
I'm like, I can live in a slight bit of disillusion where you're not going to put fucking 11-year-olds on a trail in a deadly forest by themselves.
I
That'd be
think
Care
great.
for Magical Creatures is just introducing them to a bunch of different things that can kill them.
I think
Yeah.
he has mentality of like a 15 or 16-year-old though.
Yeah, Hagrid.
Yeah, I think he's still stuck in the time when he lost his magic abilities and like had to lose his spider and stuff.
Yeah.
You can lose any spider. I don't like spiders.
You shut the hell up, woman. That spider was cool.
It was giant. Ron doesn't like spiders either.
No, I don't like spiders either, but that's not the point. And Harry gets saved by Farrens, I think is how you say it.
Bronze. Yep.
Ron. What is he again?
Centaur.
Centaur.
Thank you. I couldn't think of that word all fucking day.
But something.
And they're like astrologists, and they actually also can semi-predict the future
Yeah.
in a different way, which is really cool, that I wish they touched on more in the movies.
They
Yeah.
really
In the
didn't
book.
talk about them too much because
That's what I was going to ask, because like, I was like, why don't we have more centaurs throughout the rest of the movie?
Oh yeah, there's a thing where one of the centaurs becomes a teacher at Hogwarts in divination with Trelawney at one point, I
Really?
believe. Yeah, because there's a point where remember when they removed Trelawney and Dumbledore comes in like a G and says, you can suspend my teachers, but you can't bar them from the grounds.
Yeah.
And he like saves her. When that happens, they have to bring in a new teacher.
how's he get up the ladder?
I don't know. But there's like a thing where that happens, and then I think in the next one she comes back, but they like split it, and that like all
Okay.
the butt
But
heads.
something very important that they leave out of the movie that happens in the book is there's another centaur that comes
Yeah.
and gets mad at what's his name?
Him for intervening.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't
Right,
remember
because
his
that's
name.
like, fuck the wizards, they can handle their own shit.
Well,
Yeah.
he's kind of affecting the future now.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, jumping in the middle of something. Yeah, I even had written in my notes, I wish he came back. But anyways, so the exams are done and Harry's scar won't stop burning. Hagrid tells him that the dragon egg guy also knew how to play some music. Knew that if you just play some music, it puts Fluffy to sleep. Which is just like, why would you tell anyone that? You know your guard dog over that mysterious chamber that's going to have the fucking
Right.
Philosopher's Stone in it? Maybe let's not tell people.
Real quick, I just remembered it does show him again in the 5th one. Remember?
Does it?
With Umbridge, when they go with, they come and help with the giant that Hagrid has, his brother.
Oh,
Well-
yeah.
Tied up, the centaurs come back and
Well,
help
I
him.
can't wait to watch them again in 4 years.
Right. Right. I keep just remembering stuff after we say, like, oh yeah, it doesn't show the centaurs again. I'm like, damn it does.
Well, that's fine. Then we'll eat our words when we do the podcast 4 years from now. If we say something stupid that ends up in the 5th one or whatever, okay. Be like, I'm a dummy. I have a lot of things in my brain.
Yeah, for real.
A lot.
So yeah, then we have the kids tell McGonagall but she shoos them away. They're like, hey, we know about the super secret stone, and we think it's going to get stolen. And it's like, well, it's odd that you guys know about this thing that literally no one else in the school knows about. But also you're 11, so I'm not going to believe you. Bye now. And it's just like, but they know about the stone when no one else does.
Yeah, but she's like, okay, that's why we already have all the things set in place to stop this from happening.
Right, but like all these weird things happen throughout the year where it's like Harry's broom gets hexed, a troll shows up on Halloween, like all these weird little things where it's just like, you're not gonna listen to the kids at all?
Yeah, I totally
For
think...
5 minutes just to hear their story and be like, alright, get the fuck out of here.
I think it could be the reason why the business Dumbledore had at the Ministry could have been related to the incidents, because when they tell McGonagall and you like see her face,
Yeah.
it's not like she does shoo him away, but I definitely think she takes it into advisement. You know what I mean? Like something fishy is probably going to happen tonight.
Although I feel like Quirrell, like that was another thing where I was like, are we going to blame this on Quirrell that Dumbledore's not here? Because was it just going to be a fake out that it was a letter from the Ministry and it wasn't a letter from the Ministry?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, we never got the explanation for that either.
I
think it does
maybe
in the
it
book.
was Quirrell. Like
He
I
realizes
think
it's not
Quirrell
real.
could have sent him away somehow, like sent him the message. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So then the guys got to try and sneak out that night. And Neville tries to stop them.
And they stupefy.
Okay, that is what it's called. I wanted to write that down, but I was like, I'm going to sound weird saying stupefy.
It's stupefy.
Wait, Neville?
They stupefy.
They don't
him.
stupefy Neville.
What is?
Petrificus totalis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets like mummified without wrap.
Stupefy is the jinxing spell. They shoot at each other all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Thank you, nerd.
Yeah.
That's why he's
Harry's
in
is
Ravenclaw.
Expelliarmus, which disarms people.
Yeah. But then he uses it to attack people too. It makes no sense.
You disarm, you win, though.
Yeah, no, but he'll just like shoot like attack blasts at them, saying it's Belliama still sometimes in the later movies. It's weird. And then we have to start doing our showdown. They get to Fluffy, but Fluffy's already asleep, and there's a spell on the harp making it play. They move its paw so that they can open the door. And they're like, isn't it quiet in here? And that's when the drool happens. I'm like, ugh. So they get down there, and then we're in the Devil's Snare.
Yeah.
Which is like this quicksand divey that's going to choke the shit out of you
And
unless you
Hermione's
just relax.
like, yo, just be chill, we'll be good.
At
so
first
her
she
and Harry
freaks
are
out.
good.
She remembers you need to have a fire or light. And she forgets she's a wizard for a moment because she's in pure panic mode. And Ron reminds her to use her wand.
Yeah, but like that
That happens in the book.
We're talking about the movie in Devil's Snare. Like, she just chills and goes down and tells Harry to do the same thing, and then they shoot the light at Ron.
Yeah, because Ron won't listen,
Yeah,
even
he just
though they're
freaks
both
out.
like, we're fine, just listen. But she doesn't say she's fine. She just keeps saying, listen to me, and it's just like...
Yep.
Listen,
Again, that's
if
still
a girl
her
tells
know-it-all.
you I'm fine, you're never going to listen to us. Because you don't believe us when we say we're fine. Because sometimes we're fine usually means you did something.
Well, that's your fault for
No,
making it that way.
no.
Culture sucks. Let's move on. So yeah, then we have to have Harry catch the key,
Yep.
which is pretty cool. Because all the keys are chasing him, and then once he finally flies to the door, all of them just like slam right into the door, like little daggers. And then we gotta play some chess.
Yeah, and they skip over a few of the tests, like the potions.
Oh, the
Yeah,
potion
that
one
was
would've been
supposed to be,
really
like-
cool.
Where you really got to see how smart Hermione was, but we already figured that out with Devil's Snare.
Mm-hmm.
So that I feel like that's why they cut it. But anybody want to explain the chess game?
Yeah, Ron knows what he's doing, and he directs the chess game to
He
win.
climbs up on the knight.
Yep, and then he has to sacrifice himself, and then Hermione goes to Ron, and that's with the line you
Yeah.
said earlier. He has
We're
to
still
stop them.
playing.
Yep, he has to stop them, and then he has to go and checkmate. Ron has that big monologue about how Harry's great and he's gonna go on and like this is what he has to do.
Ron really could have died though, because that night horse is up
Yeah,
super
that was
high.
terrifying, especially like. I wonder if that really like accidentally fucked up his eye, because that's really good CGI work. When you look at when his eye gets scraped, that rock straight hits, rolls and scrapes, and you see the instant puff up in blood. You're like, wow, that looks real as shit.
And like he gets hit in a couple different body parts with rock, and I'm like, those better be foam. Like,
Yeah, they probably did a stunt double too.
oh,
for
totally.
Any slightly dangerous thing for the kids.
Do you think they had a bunch of dwarf stunt doubles for the kids for the first couple movies?
Probably.
And like dwarf, it would be the proper term for like people that are like 4 feet tall, right?
Yes and no. Depends on dwarfism is actually like short. They would probably have just smaller because
So but they would still fit under the little person umbrella.
technically, legally, yes.
Okay.
4'10" and under.
But probably not, I would guess.
Yeah,
No,
like
'cause
I
that's
don't
too short.
think I wouldn't think somebody who's like grown but like 5'4", 6" would like it if I called them a little person.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say, like, is there a bunch of under 4'10" stunt doubles for these kids?
Probably not, but they probably have more petite.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Where like they could frame the camera in such a way to
Yeah,
make them
so a
look
little
small.
person can't really be a stunt double.
If they
Well,
look
if they're
to
for
scale,
children.
if they look to scale with everybody else, you just make everything around them seem bigger.
Yeah.
Right. It's like how they have to scale up everything for Tom Cruise because he's a tiny, tiny man.
Is he?
He's like 5'5".
Oh, yeah, he's short for a
Yeah,
guy.
and then he'll like have to stand there and be eye level with a dude that's like 6'3", and he's like, he's not fucking 6'3". Shut the fuck up. But yeah, after Ron sacrifices himself, we get checkmate. We move on, and Hermione has to bring Ron to the hospital wing, and Harry has to continue on. And that's when he comes face to face with Quirrell, not Snape after all. And that's when he makes him look into the mirror again, and his reflection just puts the stone in his pocket, which is a weird thing at first until you remember that Dumbledore explains it in the next scene as only somebody that wanted to find it but not use it was gonna be able to get the stone. And it's like, that's a weird ploy, but I like your word. We'll move on.
Yeah.
And but then Quirrell's like, stop lying to me about your fucking dumb vision. Tell me you have the stone. And then that's when we pull off the scarf and reveal Voldemort for the first time, who looks real fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Like real, like scary for little kids.
Yeah.
Like I think I was just at the proper age where none
Still
of this shit
shouldn't
was
have had
gonna
a
scare
nose.
me. Mm-hmm. But we move on.
No,
And
it's just squished.
then Quirrell tries to like put his hands on Harry, choke him, and Harry tries to move his hand. It just starts disintegrating under him. And they explain it's because his mother's love protects him from Voldemort. But then once like Quirrell is fully disintegrated, then the spirit of Voldemort passes through him. So why is that mega chill, even though like he's not supposed to be able to touch Harry because, mother's love and stuff.
I guess like he could just pass through him without it being harmful because he's a different entity at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not a physical being.
Right, and the
Yes.
only reason he really passes out is after everything he's done. He's been
Like
through.
to burn, you have to have skin.
Right.
Yeah, so, and after everything he's been through, all that adrenaline knocks out, and he's walking backwards, so he probably tripped.
That, and also I think the spirit passing through made the scar probably surge with so much pain that could have passed him out too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or passed him out, knocked him unconscious, whatever. Ooh, there goes my phone. And then we see him in the hospital wing. Dumbledore tells him the stone has been destroyed. Fortunately, that means Nicholas Flamel will have to die soon, but he's lived 700 years. He's solid gold.
He's accepted it. Him and his wife.
Oh,
They're putting their affairs in order.
Yep.
Bertie Bott's, every flavored beans.
And earwax
Yeah,
is just
they
like a
do.
normal thing.
Yeah. That's earwax.
Yeah, that was such like a little like shitty thing to have happen where he's like, I had the vomit one, it turned me off. Now that I'm like 100 years old, let me try it again.
Why are you stealing?
Oh,
Why
still
are you
shit
gonna
flavors.
eat his candy though? Like he's in the hospital. Why are you eating his candy?
Yeah, and like Ron steals his chocolate frogs, but he's like, fuck him, I also saved him in chess. You know what I mean? Like Ron can steal some of his candy. Dumbledore,
Ron can have one piece of the candy.
yeah, and he dates his chocolate frog. And what else do we have left for this movie? Oh yeah, it's the final dinner of the year where we're going to award the House Cup. Slytherin is in the lead with all the points by 150, right?
And
Or 160.
I love how Dumbledore makes this all suspenseful and shit. He waits all the way through for them to name out all of the house's points and announce Slytherin as the champions.
And then he goes and says that we still have some points to dole out. We gotta give Hermione 50 points for being wicked smart.
Wicked fucking smart.
Wicked fucking smart, dude.
Why are you guys Boston now?
Well, sweetheart. Then Ron, he gets 50 points for being wicked good at chess.
Wicked good.
Dude, kid's so good at chess. And then, because Harry's so damn brave and stuff, he gets 60 points.
Yeah.
Fucking wicked, dude.
Bad motherfucker.
Oh my.
And so now the score's evened up. We're like, holy shit. Are we going to have to do a tie between the rivals of Gryffindor and Slytherin?
Oh yeah.
Nah.
Neville, you got cursed. So boom, some points for your
What
ass.
if
Yeah.
there was a tie? What would really happen?
Then he wouldn't have
Fight to
needed.
the death.
Yeah.
Draco versus Harry. Only one 11-year-old leaves this great hall. But yeah, so the biggest fuck you move to a house possible. He's like, oh yeah, so after I've already announced Slytherin the winners, it's actually Gryffindor. Now let's change all the banners that were Slytherin into Gryffindor so we can rub it in a little harder.
Yep.
And they're all like, fuck yeah, fuck you, Slytherin, you're all a bunch of cunts. Like, it's such a fuck you moment. It's great. And then, as Harry's getting on the train, Hagrid gives him a picture of his parents and him as he's a baby. Just so adorbs.
Yeah.
And then,
The
What?
line. Oh, okay. You have
Yeah,
more
I'm
of
about to say the saddest closing line
Yeah.
in all of cinema history.
You better say it right though.
Hermione goes up to him and is like, it's weird going home now, isn't it? And he just goes, I'm not going home. Not really.
Yep.
You didn't say it with an accent.
I was not going to butcher it that way. But it's so sad.
Yeah.
And it's the last line of the movie, and they play it like it's a feel-good moment because he found himself at Hogwarts. And he's like, but he still has to go home to the people that hate him. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bummer movie.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
It's great. But I just wish they didn't make him say, as the last line of the film,
I love the last line.
oh, it's so sad. Makes me hurt on the inside. But, out of 10 Jinx brooms, Jenifer, what do you rate this film? 10 being the highest,
10.
1 being the lowest. A 10?
10.
A 10.
10.
It's absolute perfection to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Every night I'm like, let's watch Harry Potter.
The first one is the one you could literally just take the book, and it's that almost. But like I said, minus peeves, a few minor details, but
Right.
it is almost perfection, as you say.
So how many Jinx brooms do you give it, Patrick?
Just because there's other ones that are better, I'll give it an 8.5.
I'm gonna give it a 7. Because, like, there are a couple things. Like, the special effects, Emma Watson's acting's not as great. And then I found stupid little plot holes in it throughout watching it today. But it's still so magical and so brilliant how they were able to really nail this movie for all that they could with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, like, we just watched Superman for the podcast right around the time we recorded this one. And it's just such an amazing achievement that with all these, big properties that we're watching that are just getting mercilessly just misused, that these things are actually working. And they got Harry Potter right on the first try.
Yeah.
It stayed pretty consistent throughout the series. And you really have to give credit to the fact that you had a lot of those main kids didn't really have a bunch of big publicity issues. None of them turned into a Lindsay Lohan or a Paris Hilton, a tabloid fixture in any way.
Yeah, other than B characters.
Yeah, and Daniel Radcliffe was an alcoholic and did a nude fucking play before he was 18. And did weird little things, but nothing that ever made him
But isn't the adult age in Britain a little bit... I think it's 17.
Might be. I don't know. But either way, it's still a little weird to be that young and just have your dick out on stage.
True.
It's just something we just don't think about too much in our everyday lives, But yeah, I'm going to stick with 7 Hex Brooms because I find it to be an amazing film. But, it has its little quirks.
For sure. I'm giving it a little bit of grace due to age, and like I said, just from the book, it is as close to perfect, I think, as they could have gotten, for sure.
What did you say again? 8?
Yeah, 8.5.
I think I'm gonna go back down to 8.5, 9, because there could be small things, but musically with the movie, it's beautiful.
So you're gonna give John a perfect 10?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We can all give John a perfect 10, I think.
It's nice music.
I might give him a 9. But
to just listen to when you're any kind of mood, when you're sleeping, studying.
Yeah, she likes to listen to the scores.
Really? I would think it a little too loud for sleeping, the bum 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 bum.
If you have it on a lower volume, though,
But it doesn't make the hollow parts too quiet?
No.
Interesting. Alrighty then. Good to know. Jennifer, where can people follow you online? Do you have a Twitter and Instagram?
I do have Twitter. I don't remember the last year I posted, but I have Twitter. OMJenny329.
Alright, cool.
And Instagram.
Pop Top Pat.
And I'm at Drew Dorrance. And of course, I must say, stay tuned again in 2 days, actually, for Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.